Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to Everything Meta. And once again, we have a surprise for you. We are presenting a new project, potentially awesome project for the Yasha DAO. Please introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are and what it is you're bringing to the table.
Hey guys, I'll let Mr. D go ahead and introduce himself first. He's the guy who created this unbelievable project that we're about to reveal to the entire world. Um, Mr. D, you want to introduce yourself?
Can I
Sure.
can I give Mr. D a small intro? Not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
It
All
takes
right.
the pressure off me for sure.
For those in Yasha DAO, Mr. D has been helping us with contracts for some time now. Okay, one of the most based developers in blockchain. His game, I think, has over 30 smart contracts integrated into the game, which is unreal. Okay, and I think it's completely serverless. The entire game is on the blockchain. So
Indeed.
Wow.
it's quite the feat. So I managed to twist his arm to help us with staking contracts. I twist his arm to be a advisor for the science DAO. So anyway, guys, one of the most base devs that's out there. Okay, go ahead, Mr. D. Go ahead.
I don't know about the base part. Maybe I got issues working so many hours, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes me based or not. but yeah, no, I've helped out with Yasha and Nico and a few other things, and it's great crew of people and great team. But what my heart and soul is MetaBoards, which used to be Monopoly. It was a game that a play to earn blockchain game we launched last summer, actually, almost a year ago, end of August last year, and it's based on the Monopoly is kind of the core concept. It did pretty well. Our NFTs rose to the top of. We were on BSC, so we were floating at number 2 on Treasureland of all time, and we're still there, or we're still number 4, I think.
Yeah, number 4 of all time.
Yeah, so of all time trading volume. At one point, we almost caught Pancake Swap Bunnies, but then they pulled majorly ahead. But then we moved our official marketplace over to Babylon's, and we're number 2 in their total ever volume as well. So we had a pretty big success with our NFTs and the game itself. But we kind of hit a wall where gas prices got too expensive to play the game, and there were some other fundamental tokenomics that weren't addressed. So we decided to pause the game. And then I went back to the drawing board and essentially built an ecosystem around the game. So the game itself lets you burn tokens, and it feeds the ecosystem, but it wasn't enough. So we put all these checks and balances into the system. And we've also introduced, which is, I think, my favorite feature. I love the game, but my favorite thing is the vault, which if you're familiar with the baked beans type of miner systems, it's essentially that at the core, but on steroids. So it's a miner at the core. It has the same concepts of you get shares, or we call them shares, but you get a stake in the system. And then your reward per day is based on, how many shares you have and what the total value locked is. But we've taken that to a different level, and we've used that as kind of our centerpiece for a way to manage not only things like the token supply, but also the NFT supply. And it also lets us kind of intertwine different features with each other. So, for example, one of the better ways to earn shares in the vault isn't directly buying them, it's by locking up or giving away your NFTs. And when you give away your NFTs, what that does is that recycles them back into the system. So they end up back in packs and somebody else can pool that. But what you get is a share of the vault and a share of the TVL. And the TVL is fed by everything we do in the system. So the pre-sale, 20% will go into the TVL. 20% of all the pack sales go into the TVL, which first time around, we were a moderate size market cap, but we still sold almost 900 B&B well, over 900, 900.
Yeah, it was over 900.
900.3 or something BNB worth of NFT packs, which when BNB was in the $500-600 range. So had all the success in the NFTs, but the token suffered. So if you look at the chart, it looks like it was a farming token because it was. So we let you use those NFTs to monetize in other ways, and then we feed that into the vault so that 20% of everything we make goes back to holders. But in order to partake, it's not like a one-stop shop. Like if you come in and all you want to do is buy shares, you're probably not going to really be a whale. You're gonna be like, why is my value going down? It's because people are giving all their NFTs and they're using it. So it uses the whole system kind of as this like a centerpiece for everything to kind of go in and out.
Yeah, and it also there's also a 6x bonus for burning your token. So if you go in and you decide to burn your token for vault shares, you'll get 6 times what they're worth. It's a really incredible way to interact.
We encourage burning of tokens at every turn of the way, but not in we're not a project that's going to have coming on Friday is buyback and burn day. It's all integrated into the contract itself. So to take a step back on the game, unlike a lot of like the PDE games that are out there right now, they are mostly just a typical game, whether it be anything from a third-person shooter to a bubble popper or a side scroller. But generally, what they are is a game engine that runs the game, and then you take your high score and go, okay, we figured it out. Now here's your reward. So that's not even remotely how MetaBoards work. So all the rewards are based on on-chain transactions. So if I roll and I land on a property and I don't have that property staked in my NFT farms, I have to pay rent like you would in normal Monopoly, right? So, but I pay the rent, and 75% of that rent goes back to everybody that has it staked. So you're earning rewards off of the other players. Then you also can earn rewards by landing on chess places or landing on the jackpot. You get a payday every time you go around the board. But then it also has the check of if you land on a tax space, all that 100% of that gets burned. If you land on like a utility space, the typical waterworks type of space in Monopoly, 100% of that goes to the jackpot. So it's all these different things that feed into itself. And the idea is to contain the system so that, as we're burning more tokens, people are earning more tokens, and it, theoretically should find a sweet spot where, I don't want to say it's a stable coin because that's not going to happen, but where the supply and demand kind of equal each other out, and it becomes a stable farming experience by just grinding away playing the game.
Yeah, and I should add, the game is definitely not a grind. It is so much fun to play. It's crazy addictive. It's a really, really good time. And really what, to reiterate what Mr. D was saying, the whole game has been structured around the central idea of keeping people within the ecosystem. So how do we achieve that? I was actually just discussing this with somebody a couple of minutes ago, an investor, and I believe there are 3 major ways to get a end user to interact with the system the way you want to. It's either restrictions, incentives, or punitive measures. All of this entire system has been considered with each of those measures, and it's been designed in a way that we don't lean so heavily on the punitive side of things. We definitely have some punitive things, like if you decide to mine and harvest more than once a week, you'll get hit with an additional tax. And it's right there. You have to check that you agree, and you have to read through it and acknowledge it. But the idea behind all of these things are that there is a specific way of interaction which will be best for the ecosystem as a whole, for the players, for the project, and all of those things align really well when we put into place these types of features and measures. So it's been thought out from the bottom to the top. Our chief operating officer, Crouton, has become pretty well known in the space because what he does is he's a data analyst by trade. He does that in his day-to-day job. So what he's done here is we have gone through the thousands of NFTs. We've gone through every single area within the game, every lever, and put together a formula for the numbers to make sure that everything aligns and maintains not necessarily the stability as a stable coin, but essentially maintains a level of sustainability, which I think is the most important thing in any type of play to earn game.
Everything
appreciate that.
is kind of cyclical in
Yeah.
a way. So
That's the dream. And if it's not perfect, we've left it flexible enough that we can make adjustments, right? We're not, if something is turned up too high, we have the ability to scale it down. And we put a lot of thought into not just launching it, but what happens post launch, because one of the like the most beautiful things about it, but also as the dev, one of the most like hair pulling, head banging things is that most tokens or projects or games have like, here's the best strategy. We harvest every day or harvest once a week, but we have so many different ways that you can interact with it that we can't really predict exactly how it's going to go. I mean, if everybody gives their NFTs, that changes the entire dynamic of the way the vault is distributed. If nobody gives their NFTs, it's a completely different system. So it's kind of a game within a game is how we like to look at it. And
yeah, we do that exhibit.
That game, there's a game, but the idea is that we have the bird's eye view, and if that if there's not exploit, but if there's something that's a number that's not right, or one side of it is outdoing the other side, we want to be able to correct that without having to say, we tried, guys, next time we'll get it right. I mean, we're really focused on making this a long-term type of investment.
Kevin, Mr. D, sorry, I don't know. Mr. D
no,
is
you can call me Kevin.
Okay, cool.
I put Mr. D because that's like my handle. That's how most people know him. But I've
100%.
been going.
Mr. D is
I've been
like
using my
Sure.
God-given name more often.
Okay,
And it's
my
a beautiful
bad.
name, young man.
So when you're moving along the board, obviously it's done by some type of randomizer, right?
Yeah.
Are you using chain link randomizer, or did you build your own?
No. So
Okay.
it would have been pretty straightforward to build our own randomizer, but there's a major trust issue. So yeah, we partnered with Chainlink, and we partnered with them the first time around, and it went really well, but they had some things to fix, and it was an expensive experience for us. Not necessarily in the end, but the way that VRF1 worked is they held on to your fees and then reimbursed you at the end of the month. So it really put a damper in our marketing budget at our prime. But for this version, not only are we running on Polygon for the game, so it's going to be cheaper gas-wise, but we've upgraded everything to VRF2, which is a much better system. Like, I'm really impressed with what they did with it. Basically, you just sign up. You sign your address, and then you're able to add consumers to your contract. So it's really easy to deploy new contracts.
Cool.
Before you would have to send link to each contract, and it got messy. But yeah, every single role in the game is randomized through Chainlink VRF2. So there's no way to exploit the actual role of the game at all.
For sure. Well, okay, it sounds like Mr. D is a gigabrain dev. Okay, and
I'm just gonna ramble on. You just shut me up.
There is an incredible amount of thought that has gone into this ecosystem and creating this cyclical feedback to the TVL, so that if somebody is acting, I'm going to say selfishly, it will benefit all holders, whether it's a higher tax or whatever it might be.
No, exactly.
Yep.
Like, for example, sorry.
Right, the NFTs that you're staking, like for instance, if I have an NFT of Park Place, and I have that, anytime the randomizer has somebody land on there, they pay me rent, and then a percentage of that rent also goes back to the TVL, right? So,
Right.
and then you're sort of modulating like the burn and potential mint, I suppose, of the tokens to create like a stable coin based on a game, so that it never really
Right.
looks like cool.
I mean,
Okay.
it's almost like an algo stablecoin, but it's not, right? Because it
Yeah.
could go one way. It's not designed to always be level. It's designed to be a game. There's that
Yeah.
bit of randomness, and it's really designed to reward players over time. So, if you grind away at the game and you go through all the levels, you might have a couple bad days, but in the end, you're gonna earn more than you burned and spent, because it's designed to be distribution essentially, right? But slow distribution, and it could actually have stints where it goes the other direction, which even in the first version we saw when people, because one of the things we have is we have NFT packs that you can buy that you burn tokens. They're burn packs, so people would burn 1,000 tokens just to get NFTs, and there were a couple days where we dropped 10% of our supply, and it was just from people opening packs. So
Wow.
I mean, we ended up with like a 4 million circulating supply, I think, was close to where we are right now, and there's over 1 million burned just in the store alone. So
Wow.
and that was before we had all, like, I feel that was the prototype, right? So that was missing a ton of the things that we've added that I feel will stop a lot of the dumping. Like, we didn't have token tax the first time around. So now every time somebody buys, the tax gets burned. So we have built-in burn mechanisms into the token.
Right. Oh,
And-
and who is helping you with your token contract, guys?
So yeah, helping us as a member of the team. Our Chief Innovation Officer is Sir Tris.
Right. Super
Yeah,
cool.
man.
So a lot of our ecosystem knows. I say Tris. Is it Tris?
I think it's Tris, but
Okay.
I'll ask him. I'll confirm. He's never corrected me.
A lot of our ecosystem knows Tris. I would say Tris. From helping develop the Cliff contract, guys. So the Cliff LP burn contract, along with Budosh. If you guys remember him back in those early days, he had been drinking and watching the chart go completely parabolic, and it was like a big party, back then. Ken, can you organize this? Where are we going next?
I'm trying. I want to go way back. No, not yet. Not yet. I want to go way back too. So, I've heard all kinds of terms, some familiar, some not, what have you. I want a basic idea, right? For the average listener, the elevator version.
Yeah.
What is this? What are you doing?
So MetaBoards is a board game on the blockchain in the style of Monopoly. You buy NFT packs, and in them are some properties which are represented by spaces on the board.
Yep.
Users will roll, and to roll, they have to pay in M Pocket, which is the currency, and that roll is burned. And then they move their spaces according to what Chainlink's random function tells us their dice equated to. And if you land on somebody else's spot, you've got to pay taxes. Or rent rather. And the people who hold those NFTs receive a portion of that rent.
Okay. So
let me step it back and simplify it. So I would say it's a play to earn game that has an ecosystem built around it to stabilize the minting of the token, to stabilize the inflation, essentially.
Much better.
It took you saying all that for me to think of that, though, so we're good.
This is why we're such a good team.
Yeah.
But I would say, if I was gonna, give the elevator pitch, that would be it, right? It's a game at the core, but with an entire ecosystem around it that makes the token and the NFTs preserve value.
It's like can I say this? It's like the ohm of P2E.
I could see that.
You say that? It's like the ohm of P2E, maybe?
Yeah.
Mr.
I think also something that's worthwhile addressing, and it might be out of order and I apologize, but something that I definitely wanted to bring up, because he doesn't do it enough, is Mr. D is very modest, but what he's built out here is honestly astonishing. There is nothing like this out there. And we didn't even mention half the features and that it's in full VR. But
let me pick up right there. Let me ask a question about that. I don't want to cut out the accolades, and I don't mean to interrupt, but my follow-up question was going to be, is the from an investor standpoint, is my investment, the success of my investment predicated on others' willingness to play the game?
Well, first, it's a game token. Okay, so
yeah,
you're not technically investing, you're participating in the game function.
Right. You'll notice that I spend a lot of time referring to the people who play the game as the end user or the community. The way that we look at this is M-Pocket is the in-game token, whereas Pocket is the token that's representative of the larger company.
Yep. Got it.
But I would say, for typical buy and hold investors, it's not going to be a bad play. I can't guarantee what the price will do, and I never will. But it's designed to not go down. Hopefully, we see some upward movement. But to maximize our system, you want to use it, right? So that's where the passive income comes from. That's where I personally would not want our token to go 100x, because that totally screws up all the numbers. It changes the whole way the game is played. But I also don't want to see it drop 98% either. So that's why it's designed to find a stable floor. I don't know where that floor will be. That's going to be defined by the people that are buying and selling the token. But it's better. It's a much better place than it was with Monopoly as far as for average investors that just want to buy and hold, because we have all these checks and balances to preserve that value. As where Monopoly, it was a gaming token and 100% a gaming token, and we just wanted you to burn it and not sell it.
And this is where the kind of the game theory comes in to guide the behaviors.
Yep.
To keep the value of the token. Got it.
If you want to maximize your profit, you got to come back every day and interact with a couple pieces of it, right? So it's all about the user engagement, and it's all about, not letting you sit there and just forget about us and come back a month later and go, oh, I have all this money, and then dump it on us. Like, we want you to come back, and we want you to interact.
One execution a day, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, just
basically rolling every day is kind of like the trigger, right? You can't harvest your NFT farms if you haven't rolled, and you can't claim your game rewards. So you can collect your rent, but you can't claim it until you've rolled, right? So there's that check. The vault is more for the passive kind of community member. You can go, you can get your shares, come back every week and harvest and make your passive income. But if you want to maximize and earn the most M-Pocket, then and that's the best part about the vault is most of the TVL comes from other areas, hopefully. So it's almost a bonus, but it's also a decent bit of passive income. So
okay, so we've seen recently there's a lot of we've seen a lot of Telegram integrations with wallet creation, with sniper tools, with buying, like /buy contract name, this much ETH, right? Do you have a roll the dice feature that interacts and executes on blockchain?
I mean, we have a /roll feature in our MetaBoards Telegram, but it's like one of the built-in bots. It doesn't interact with the game. But that's definitely not the first time that's come up. So I would love to have some of that, and it's definitely designed, since it's all contract based. I mean, it really could be just some random person that loves the project and wants to be a script kiddie could write a bot that would interact with it. So it's definitely not off the table.
How people just spam,
priorities
like,
though.
Like a million rolls, it just keeps going. You know, that would be.
Well, you got to pay for each of them, and if you're going to roll early, so there is a timer between rolls. If you
Right.
want to advance and roll early, you've got to pay a fee to be able to get your roll. But you get
So yeah, you can't keep rolling indefinitely because it's it just like you have to roll every day. Like the amount you earn in the NFT farms is scaled by your in-game level. So we put checks. So the rolls will be, it's not 100% confirmed, but we're thinking probably 4 hours, which was what we had at the first time around. So you could roll once every 4 hours for free, or 5 times a day. You could pay a little bit of Matic and reset your roll timer. And that Matic goes into the jackpot. So if somebody lands on that, they get all of that Matic minus 20% that goes to the vault. So it's like all of these little things, all your roll fees go into the jackpot. You can win it back. You could also lose it and it comes back to the project. So like,
Cool.
you know, but if you just keep playing and you know, if you come back every day and roll, you know, you're eventually going to be in the positive overall because it's meant to be a grinding kind of farming experience, not like a skill based, oh, you know, I couldn't, you know, I suck at clicking the mouse button, so now I don't get my PvE balance, you know. So it's really about the casual player and in, you know, constant interaction every day.
Okay, let me drive home a point really fast. Okay, guys. Mr. D is like a gigabrain dev. Okay. Some of this might be going over your head, but it's as simple as pressing a button every day and asking them in the Telegram, asking Jared in the Telegram, wherever it might be, if you have any questions on how to play, right? It actually is very straightforward. And
it is very simple. I know I can, yeah, I know every line of code.
Just
so,
to give it
so I go off on tangents, but yeah, no, that's a good point to make because it really, you know, it really is kind of, you just kind of load the game and you know, you roll and then you come claim your NFT harvest and then you come back tomorrow. Like that's, you know, you can get a lot more complicated with it. Like you could build strategies. That's what the beauty of it is because there's so many moving parts. But if you're just a casual gamer and you just want some, you know, passive income, it's definitely set up in a way where you don't have to think much, right? That's why I guess the point I was trying to make with it's not like a skill-based type of game. Yeah. But it's very much, you know, you come and you just, you know, take your turn and then you know, you're good. You don't have to think too much.
All the strategies in collaboration will be available with other members of the community. So if you need like this pack of NFTs and this pack of NFTs and you roll this many times per day and you're staked in the vault or you've burned this many tokens and then you're maximizing your potential earning, right? There's a strategy in there.
Exactly.
You can look at it like learning to swim, right? You could start out in the shallow end and go there, and you could be as deep as you want. You could be waist high if you want, or you could go into the deep end and really dig in. You can make it whatever experience you want. And that's the beauty of what Kevin has built out here.
I guess one thing I should say, though, it's not overly beneficial to somebody that's figured out all the, you know, the little intricacies, right? So it's fair. So yeah, somebody that like watches the vault and sees like how it's balancing, getting NFTs might give them more shares, buying directly might give them more shares, right? They'll have an advantage because they're playing the game, but it's not going to affect the casual person. They're, you know, they're still going to be able to just grind away and make their, you know, daily rewards. So it's meant to benefit the people that really want to engage, but still make it a very, very casual experience.
Ken, what's up, Ken?
Speaking of engagement and benefiting the people, let's get to the slides. You know,
yes,
we're half an hour in. Let's get to slide one.
So
no problem.
These are just a little bit of what we went over with the Pocket team and the Pocket group of community members a couple of weeks ago. So this is a broad overview of Pocket altogether. So the MetaBoards development has been completed pretty much. Pocket has had for over a year running a play to earn game called Danger on BSC. It's really, really fun, paid out hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you got to avoid rugs and honeypots and run around the board as a little doge. So it's a lot of fun. It's a great game. We've integrated NFTs into that. Where I mentioned about expanding the team, that was bringing on Sir Triss or Treese. I guess it's player's choice. We're good with that. And so we've expanded the team that way. And he's also working right now on developing some additional functionality for the B2B side of things. We acquired a project called Wolverine a couple of months ago, and they had built out a Fiverr for crypto type of platform. So we have that now in our ecosystem, and it's going to be built upon as well. So the MetaBoards advancements we've discussed, self-sustaining, already explained that. Full VR, something we haven't gone into yet, but it's incredible in and of itself, the fact that Kevin managed to build not only the contracts, not only the front end of the website, not only the back end and the server and the integrations with Morales and Chainlink. He put it all in VR. Wow. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. And if you're sitting in that environment,
but he can't wash his dishes.
Hey, don't worry. We all have our talents. But yeah, so that's where it's absolutely insane. And where I say something for everyone, we have to even look at this from even a perspective that's like 10,000 foot view, because there's just so much. But he built his own NFT bridge for this experience, like a bulk NFT transfer bridge. Now, just to give you an idea, I went on a hunt for this for weeks. I was like, okay, I'm looking. Finally, I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, I'm not seeing anything great for an NFT bridge. What do you think of this one? Sent it to him. A day later, he goes, you know what? None of these projects that are building NFT bridges were what I needed. I just built my own. In 24 hours, the dude builds his own NFT bridge and own token bridge to make this a fully cross-platform game. It's astonishing.
Wow. Good stuff.
So the beta,
I was able to send about 12,000 NFTs from BSC to Polygon. I mean, it's on testnet, so it's double the price, but it cost me like 0.03 BNB, I think. So it's a very efficient type of bridge.
Cool. And just to drive it home again, guys, like, you know, we work on play to earn games. Okay, we work on games, develop, you know, building an economy, a secondary market, secondary economy. There is a degree of logic that goes in to make sure everything is balanced, to the point even AAA games out there have one little mistake and you have one user just hitting a tree over and over again in some random area of the map to just
I'm that user, by the way.
You know,
so yeah. I'm that user too. That's why.
Okay, so
that's why I second guess myself on everything.
It's really amazing. You know, like this project, I want to say, is like a bit of a work of art, and you're not going to find any of these cookie cutter things out there, like a swap, a tornado fork, whatever it might be. This is in like a league of its own. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to drive that home. Go ahead.
I mean, it's definitely been you know, concept have been borrowed, but it's there's not any copy paste going on. You know, I know that, you know, I give props. There's a lot of projects that have succeeded by making small innovations, but I just had this idea, and, you know, I've been a developer for over 20 years in the real world. So it's, you know, it's just another language. So the learning curve wasn't that high for me, but I don't, you know, I don't necessarily, my upbringing isn't just developing on a blockchain. So copying, pasting random contracts and trying to stitch them together is just how you learn, I think. Like, you know, I had an idea and I built an idea is kind of how I approached it, right? It's not about trying to be innovative. It's I need to accomplish this task. But it's such a early immature industry in general that I feel that there's like having a strong software background really, really helps me be able to manage like this level of system, because it's not any bigger than anything I've done in my day job.
Yeah. And I think that's a really, really excellent point too. It's important to remember that this is he has a day job where he is a CTO of a major company. And I think that's really important to keep in mind with the entire team within the whole Pocket project altogether. Our CFO has built ETFs for the world's leading financial institutions. Our COO is a data scientist. Our chief branding officer is an absolute genius. We've got Sertris that you guys already know. We've got it just, and obviously the man himself, Mr. D. It just doesn't stop. So, yeah, I think that's a really good point to push on.
Cool.
So I
ahead.
have a video here. I'm not sure how I can play it. You guys able to help me on this guy?
Let me.
You might be able to share screen and show it on your screen, and maybe
that'll work better.
drag his window into the middle.
I could try that. Did that work?
Is the video a part of the slideshow or no?
No. I just put it. I put this video on just now for you guys.
All right. Let's see. I want me. I want you. Yep. More me. Okay. And
maybe if we make it back to the slideshow part,
yeah, sure.
Maybe we can do. Oh, that looks cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but we need you up here.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Let's see. The order is a bit weird, but let's see. We need Jared. Have Jared, and Jared. Oh.
Third Jared is me with that video.
Okay. Let's go with this version. Let's try this. If this doesn't work, then let's see.
It's okay if we can't get it. Just more reason for people to stop by and check out everything that we've got going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to play it. I can see the file. I can see the play button, but for whatever reason,
it's grayed out, right?
Oh, wait a minute. Let's see.
The greatest part. See, this is previously recorded, so if we need to, we cut.
No, we're not going to cut this part.
Yeah.
Let them see us struggle with the technology after we were just talking about our great technology.
Pocket,
Yeah.
right? Pocket on
Pocket.
BSC. PCKT.
PCKT. And we've been around for over a year as well. We launched, I think it was July 17th of last year. So it's been a wild, wild ride, and there's nowhere else that I want to be in my life than doing this, because this is so rewarding and so much fun.
Cool.
So let me just, what I'll do is I'll add the video if you send it to me.
Cool. I'll do that.
I'll add it, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So I guess jumping back in then, couple of the things to go over. The progress of the beta, as I mentioned previously, that's been completed. token development has been completed and the timeline has been fully released. We are right now in the process of getting input on our private sale. People are letting us know how much they'd like to contribute. And the way that we've done this is the private sale is entirely through our platform. Kevin, not surprisingly, built out our own private sale platform, and it's through NFT packs. You'll go in, you'll choose the amount that you want to buy, and you'll receive the commensurate amount of NFTs as a bonus for participating in our private sale. There's also a 15% discount to launch price when you purchase through the private sale as well. The private sale is vested. So all of this is taking place within our platform, and that begins on the 21st. So the 21st, just because I don't know when you will be listening to this, everybody, the 21st of August.
Probably tomorrow or even tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Then awesome. 21st, then I'll settle, or we'll do it. So I'll give you guys all the dates right now, if that's a good place to, if this is a good time to give that information. I don't want to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we've got our dates here. The 21st to the 27th is the private sale. Pre-sale will be the 28th to September 4th. And then launch will be on September 5th.
And this is on Polygon.
Polygon, correct. The token is cross-chain, and so are the NFTs. So the NFTs and the token you could have on Polygon or BSC.
Cool. And so obviously you guys have a previously large community from both tokens, right? Both communities. This is a merger, right? This is a merger. So everything coming together here. And then, so what are the tokenomics? Like how much of the
bless you.
Excuse me. How much of the future supply is already spoken for from the previous token communities?
So that's a difficult number to really pin down right now, and I'll tell you why. We're offering a number of different migration choices. So when it comes time to migrate to this V2, you can either burn your existing MNOP token, the previous one, for Volt shares. So people who want to interact solely with the Volt will do it that way. So then we also have a migration, which is a vested migration. You can get all of your tokens immediately at a 20-to-1, or you can choose to vest for up to 19 months, depends how long you want to do it. And for each 4-week period, you get a 1x. So if you vest for 19 months, your old MNOP tokens, you're going to end up with a 1-to-1 migration.
Cool.
So those things make it a much better user experience, but implicitly there's this issue with calculating exactly what supply is spoken for, because everybody's going to use this differently. Yeah.
Got it. Super cool. Well,
I think my audio died. You guys.
We saw you drop off there. We figured you'd pop back in at some point.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought my audio was totally dead. Yeah. Luckily, I didn't start cursing.
No.
Are there any other?
One thing I wanted to slip in real quick is if you're listening to this before the 21st and probably after, but we have a full beta running of the entire system at beta.metaboards.games. So you can check it out. You can play the entire game. You can check out the vault. You can check out all the NFTs. It's the entire system. There's no punches being held because it's insanely important to get real user feedback on this system because there's so much going on. But if you want to check out everything that we're talking about, and hopefully it makes more sense than my rambling on, but definitely go do that.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that Kevin and I ended up linking up together to begin with is because we both had this same vision for the future of blockchain, the future of crypto, which is it needs to have a greater level of accountability and a greater level of transparency. And that we have tapped as a humanity maybe 1% of what blockchain's capabilities will be throughout the course of the world. And we both firmly believe that, which is why every step of the way through development, we've had betas go up. We don't believe in saying, "Hey, just believe us. We're going to build this. Come along."
Mm.
We want you to be able to go in, play it the whole time. We don't want to sell a false bill of goods. We want you to try it out, see if it's for you, see if you like it, jump on the beta. So I mean, kudos to Kevin, because one of the hardest things to do as a developer too is to put your work out there, and especially in a form that's not final, and allow it to be subjected to criticisms and suggestions. So I think that's just so cool. You were willing to do that the whole time, Kevin. So
I mean, to me, that's the only way.
yeah,
Because there's a lot of the features we've added have come from the community, and even the first version of Monopoly. I mean, I was beta testing for 3 months. There were only 27 people in our Telegram, but it was still beta testing away, right? So
Here's the
it's
board.
an ever evolving project. So we need real feedback, because I can't, you know, I might be able to code my ass off, but I can't think for every person and use it like every person will. So it's invaluable feedback coming from our community.
yeah. So the video just randomly started playing,
Not
but
so randomly.
oh, you did it.
I couldn't do it until you were done with the presentation. That was the problem.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
So this is
Um,
also a quick shot of our brand new board. This is the jungle board. The NFTs on this board are absolutely sick. I love them. I think people are just going to be playing just to collect them all. But this board is in full VR, just like all the other ones. And it's got like this really peaceful Zen sound behind it, too, of like, what is that? Birds chirping and waves rolling. Like you could Zen
I
out to
think
it.
the file was called Alien Birds or something.
I didn't get the alien part, but definitely the birds are there. They sound like terrestrial birds. Just my opinion.
It's
You guys,
peaceful for sure. I, I dorked out on it and just kind of like, because when you're in VR, you can just free roam. So I went like all the way out into the ocean, and it's it's not critical. You don't have to have a VR headset to play the game. It's just that extra level of immersion, which is really kind of just the tip of where we want to go with interaction and immersion in the metaverse with crypto, because I think that that's a huge future market.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to look at this and say, oh my God, this ecosystem is enormous. And then to know that this is legitimately just the start. There's
super cool.
so much more to come.
Well, guys, I'll say one thing. Incredibly talented developers. Mr. D, Trees, very professional team all around. You know, it's kind of what people are looking for, although they're still sort of stuck in the launch casino. You know, and so having something that they can interact with each day and come back to every day and still earn is not such a big distraction from their everyday launch casino that they're
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
So
No, it's definitely not meant to be a quick flip type of thing, right? Like this is a long term project for me. I mean, it's already been a year and a half that I've been working on it, right? So, that's forever and a day in crypto. But the goal is not to just have a project and then bring up another project and bring up another project. We want to really involve all the projects together. Like, one of the new NFTs we'll have is one of the Pocket Doge characters from Danger on BSC. So that same NFT you'll be able to play in Danger on BSC, and then you'll also be able to stake it in MetaBoards and play it as your player in the game. So, we're really reaching for this kind of, interchangeable, like using NFTs for what I think they're really good for, and that's being a piece of property. And if that property is virtual, then why can't I play the same player in 3 different games? So we want to kind of bridge the gap of having it be a project and, have a lot of interaction with other projects and other games. And, it's really, this is like the tokenomics and this is the grind part of it. But, where it goes from here is, much more interaction and interlinking with other projects.
Super
And
cool.
I know it could sound a little bit lame, but you guys will see that a lot of love, legitimate love and dedication went into this. And I think that's apparent in every single aspect of it. And if I were to leave everybody with something, it'd be there for launch, get on the private sale, get on the pre-sale, however you want to interact. But the biggest shout out and thanks to the entire team. We have like just such an amazing team, not even just core. I'm talking about our mods, our admins. We're just so incredibly lucky to have the team and the community that we've been able to somehow attract and maintain. So thank you to all of them. And thank you to the 2 of you for doing this. It's been absolutely fantastic and a blast.
100%, man. I'll tell you what, we have a pretty decent sized ecosystem. I think all-time high market cap, cumulative market caps was in excess of 400 million. Okay.
Whoa.
Anybody who is doing stuff like this, that is improving the space, that is innovating, from their sweat, from their labor, we're down with you guys. Okay, like whether you launch on our launch pad, if you're just out there, we're here to support those people that aren't just repackaging certain things and creating massive rotation in the space. And I think that you guys, I know Mr. D is always there. So, and I bug him all the time if I have questions. But just to tie this in all the way.
He's gonna bug me tomorrow because I owe him some stuff. So we're cool.
Well, okay. So Ken, guys, is fairly new to crypto. Okay. Hey, a lot of the stuff that you guys were going over is very brainy. There's a lot of jargon that is in the Solidity and blockchain type space. Okay, if you were to break it down to him, if you're to sell your pre-sale, your private sale to Ken as somebody right now, this is
okay.
Yeah.
This is the ecosystem for what a metaverse could be. This is an ecosystem where you can play a game and then you have an entire outside features and functions which feed into the game to make it more rewarding. You're going to have a fun time. That's how I would sell it.
Yeah,
You're
I would say
have a blast.
I would sell it to, because I gotta sell it to even like my family, right? They don't understand crypto.
Yeah.
But I would say it's like you're able to play Monopoly on the blockchain and earn passive income with a small amount of investment. But you're also able to go a lot further once you start understanding how it all works.
And unlike real Monopoly, you won't end up throwing the board at the people that you're playing with. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know.
I've thrown the board a few times,
Yeah.
but it comes with development.
I only flip it upside down if I'm losing toward the end.
Yeah.
That's
everybody does it. It's the source of almost, I think, 1 out of every 5 divorces.
Probably.
Monopoly on the blockchain, own the pieces, charge people rent while they are randomly put onto your spaces via Chainlink and Mr. D's ingenuity with an all-star team, right?
Come join us.
Got it. All right.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well,
And,
Thank you
thank
guys so much, man. It's always good. It's always good to chat.
Yeah, anytime, dude.
On the final
Yeah,
note,
guys.
man, you that passion you mentioned, the love for what you do, it certainly shines through, and I think people will be able to hear that, and people who are in a position to have to make an assessment based on maybe more of you guys' character as opposed to all the technical aspects will also hear that, and I think it bodes well for the project. So thank you guys
I
for being
appreciate
here,
that.
and look forward to talking to you soon.
Sounds
Thanks
good.
again.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Take care.
All right. Oh, we're still live.
Don't celebrate yet. Let's see. You have to